I want you to imagine something with me. You're 7 months pregnant, alone in a foreign country, just trying to buy baby clothes. Then your ex-boyfriend, the one who abandoned you when you told him about the baby, spots you across a luxury mall. He doesn't walk away. He doesn't ignore you. He calls security, accuses you of stalking, and has you physically dragged through the mall while hundreds of people record you on their phones. Then, just when you think it can't get worse, he pushes you. You fall. Hard. Marble floor. 7 months pregnant. And as you're lying there, terrified for your baby, clutching your stomach, praying she's okay, a man in an all-black suit appears. He's flanked by 4 men who move like shadows. He looks at your ex, and his voice is cold as winter when he asks, "What did you just do?" That man? He was about to change my life in ways I never could have imagined. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how the worst day of my life became the beginning of everything beautiful. But I need to warn you, what happened next, nobody saw coming. Before we dive into this incredible journey, I want to know, where in the world are you watching from right now? Drop your city and country in the comments below. I love connecting with viewers from around the globe. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss how the story unfolds. Trust me, every twist will leave you speechless. Now, let's get into what happened that day at the mall. The security guard's hands were on my arms before I could process what was happening. My shopping bag, the one with tiny yellow onesies I'd spent an hour choosing, hit the marble floor. Baby clothes scattered everywhere like fallen leaves. "Please," I whispered, my hand instinctively covering my 7-month belly. I wasn't doing anything wrong. But Daniel wasn't listening. My ex-boyfriend stood 10 feet away, his arm wrapped around a petite Korean woman in a designer dress. His face was twisted with disgust, like I was something dirty he'd stepped in. "Get her out," he told the guards, loud enough for everyone to hear. "She's been stalking me for months. This is harassment." My heart stopped. Stalking? I lived on the other side of Seoul. I'd come to this mall because it was the only place with affordable baby supplies. I hadn't even known he'd be here. "Daniel, that's not true," I started, but another guard grabbed my other arm. "Ma'am, you need to leave," the first guard said in broken English. People were staring. Phone cameras pointed at me. A pregnant black woman being dragged through a luxury mall. I could already imagine the headlines, the comments, the judgment. "I'm 7 months pregnant," I pleaded, trying to pull away. "Please, just let me walk out myself." Daniel's fiancé laughed. It was a cold, sharp sound. Pregnant? Probably not even his baby. These foreign girls, they shut up, Yuna, I snapped, finding my voice. "You don't know anything about me." That's when Daniel moved closer, his face red with anger. "You know what? I'm tired of this. Tired of you embarrassing me." He shoved me, not hard. Just enough, but I was off balance, pregnant, trying to protect my stomach. My heel caught on one of the scattered onesies. I fell backward. Time slowed down. I saw the marble floor rushing toward me. My hands reached desperately for my belly, trying to shield my baby from the impact that was coming. Then I hit. Hard. Pain exploded through my back and hip. My wrist bent at a wrong angle. But worse than the physical pain was the fear, pure, cold terror that something had happened to my baby. Through blurred vision, I saw Daniel standing over me. No remorse. No concern. Just irritation, like I'd inconvenienced him by falling. The mall went silent. Then I heard footsteps. Not rushed. Measured. Purposeful. A man's voice, speaking Korean, cold as winter. "What did you just do?" I looked up. A man in an all-black suit stood a few feet away. Tall. Sharp features. Eyes like black ice. Behind him, 4 men in matching suits flanked him like shadows. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at Daniel, and Daniel's face had gone completely white. The man in black moved forward with the kind of confidence that made people step back without thinking. Security guards released my arms instantly. Shoppers created a circle of space around us. I asked you a question, the man said again in Korean, then switched to perfect English. What did you just do to this woman? Daniel tried to recover his composure. This is a private matter. She's my ex. I watched you push a pregnant woman. The man's voice never rose, but somehow it cut through every excuse. I'm giving you one chance to explain why. She was harassing me and my fiancé, Daniel insisted. I was defending. The man crouched beside me, and for the first time, his expression softened. Are you hurt? Did you feel the baby move? I was shaking so badly I could barely speak. I don't know. It hurts. Everything hurts. He stood and pulled out his phone, speaking rapid Korean. Within seconds, I heard sirens. An ambulance is coming, he told me gently. Then he turned back to Daniel, and the gentleness vanished. What's your name? Park Daniel. And I don't know who you think you are, but Kong Min-soo. The man handed Daniel a business card. I watched Daniel's hands tremble as he read it. His face went from white to gray. Oh God. Sir, I didn't know she was. I didn't realize. Didn't realize what? That she's human? That she's pregnant. Mince's voice was ice. Or didn't realize someone was watching? Yuna tugged at Daniel's sleeve. Daniel, who is he? Shut up. Daniel hissed at her, something like panic in his eyes. Mince knelt beside me again. The paramedics are here. I'm going to make sure you get to the hospital safely. Is there anyone I should call? I shook my head, tears finally spilling over. There's no one. I'm alone here. Something flickered in his eyes. Pain, maybe. Recognition. Not anymore, he said quietly. The paramedics arrived with a stretcher. As they carefully moved me, I caught Mince speaking to the mall manager, who had appeared looking terrified. Security footage. Witness statements. Legal action. In the ambulance, a female paramedic checked my vitals while another monitored the baby's heartbeat. Is she okay? I asked desperately. Please, is my baby okay? Heartbeat is strong, the paramedic assured me. But we need to get you to the hospital for a full examination. I closed my eyes, relief and fear mixing together. The ambulance doors hadn't even closed when I heard Minsu's voice. I'm riding with her. And somehow, with this stranger beside me, I felt less alone than I had in months. Seoul National Hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. Nurses rushed me into an examination room while Minsu waited outside. I could see him through the window, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in rapid Korean with an intensity that made nurses hurry past without interrupting. Dr. Lee, the obstetrician, was thorough. Ultrasound, blood pressure, physical examination. Every minute felt like an hour. Your baby is fine, she finally said, and I sobbed with relief. Strong heartbeat, no signs of distress. You have some bruising on your hip and back, and your wrist is sprained, but nothing serious. However, I want you on bed rest for 48 hours. No stress. Lots of fluids. Thank you, I whispered. Thank you so much. After Dr. Lee left, Minsu entered. He'd removed his suit jacket, and I noticed his hands were shaking slightly. The baby, he asked immediately. She's fine. We're both fine. He sat down heavily in the chair beside my bed, as if his legs had stopped working. Good. That's good. We sat in silence for a moment. Why did you help me? I finally asked. His jaw tightened. 6 months ago, my younger sister was in a situation similar to yours. Pregnant, abandoned by a powerful family who saw her as an embarrassment. She was 23. She didn't survive the shame. His voice cracked. She took her own life. My hand went in my mouth. I'm so sorry. I was in a business meeting when she called. I didn't answer. He looked at me with eyes full of old pain. When I saw that man push you, saw you fall, I saw her. And I swore I wouldn't let it happen again. You're not responsible for. I know. He cut me off gently. But maybe helping you helps me live with not helping her. I understood that. The need to do something, anything, to make the pain mean something. Tell me what happened, he said. How did you end up here? So I did. I told him everything. How I met Daniel a year ago at an international business conference. How we fell in love, or what I thought was love. How I got pregnant, and how everything changed. His family's rejection. The money they offered me to disappear. How Daniel blocked my number, pretended I didn't exist. I've been teaching English to survive, I said. Living in a tiny one-room apartment in Itaewon. I came to that mall because it's the only place with baby supplies I can afford. I didn't know he'd be there. I didn't know about his fiancée. Minsa listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Is the baby his? He asked carefully. Yes, but I can't prove it. His family made sure of that. They had lawyers, threats, everything planned. He nodded slowly. And what do you want now? The question surprised me. No one had asked what I wanted in months. I want my baby to be safe, I said. I want to raise her without fear. I want Daniel and his family to leave us alone. That's all. That's everything. Minsa stood and walked to the window. Outside, Seoul glittered with evening lights. I'm going to help you, he said finally. But not just with money or lawyers. I'm going to make sure Daniel and his family understand they can't destroy people without consequences. Why would you do that for a stranger? He turned to face me. Because you're not a stranger. You're someone who needed help and didn't get it. Just like my sister. He paused. And because I have the power to do something about it, which means I have the responsibility. I don't want revenge, I said carefully. I just want peace. Sometimes, he said quietly, peace requires justice first. The hospital discharged me the next morning with strict bed rest orders. Minsu was waiting in the lobby with his driver. I'm taking you home, he said. You don't have to. Your apartment in Itaewon. It wasn't a question. I had someone check the address from your hospital records. That building has no elevator, broken heating, and your room is on the 4th floor. You're 7 months pregnant and injured. You're not climbing those stairs. I wanted to argue, but he was right. The thought of those stairs made my back ache. Where else can I go? I have a solution, he said. But you need to trust me. 20 minutes later, we pulled up to a building in Gangnam that looked like it cost more than I'd earn in my entire life. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Marble lobby. Doormen in uniforms. What is this? I asked nervously. My home, Minsa said simply. I have a guest wing. Private bedroom, bathroom, small living area. You'll have complete privacy and everything you need. I can't accept. You need bed rest. You need safety. You need prenatal care. He looked at me seriously. I'm not asking you to move in permanently. Just until you're stable, until we figure out your situation. Please. Something in his tone made me realize this wasn't just about helping me. He needed to do this. Needed to save someone when he couldn't save his sister. Okay, I whispered. But just temporarily. The penthouse was stunning. Modern Korean design mixed with comfortable furniture. The guest wing he showed me was bigger than my entire apartment. Soft bed. Clean bathroom. Windows overlooking the city. The housekeeper, Mrs. Kim, will check on you, Minsu said. She speaks English. Anything you need, just ask. Rest. Doctor's orders. What are you going to do? I asked. His expression hardened. I'm going to have a conversation with Park Daniel. I spent 3 days in that beautiful apartment, following doctor's orders. Mrs. Kim brought me meals, checked my bandages, and treated me with a kindness that made me want to cry. She was a grandmother, she told me, with photos of her grandchildren covering her phone. You rest, she kept saying. Baby needs strong mama. Minsu was often gone business meetings, he said. But every evening, he'd knock softly on my door. "How are you feeling?" he'd ask. "Did the baby move today? Do you need anything?" It was strange. We were strangers, but he cared more about my well-being than Daniel ever had. On the fourth day, he asked me to join him for dinner. Not in my room, in his dining room, with a view of Seoul's nighttime skyline. Mrs. Kim had made traditional Korean food and adapted American dishes for me. The table was covered with more food than two people could possibly eat. "You didn't have to do all this," I said. "I wanted to talk to you about something important." Minsa looked nervous, which was strange for someone so confident. "I've spent the past few days investigating Daniel and his family." "Investigating?" "My company has resources. Legal team, investigators, connections." He pulled out a folder. "Park Construction Company, Daniel's family business. On the surface, successful and respected. But underneath." He slid papers across the table. "Safety violations. 3 workers dead in the past year. Cover-ups. Bribes to inspectors. Families paid off to stay quiet." I felt sick. They let people die and covered it up to protect their reputation. Mince's voice was hard. "The same reputation they used to justify throwing you away." I stared at the documents. "What are you going to do with this?" "That depends on you." He looked at me seriously. "I can expose them. Bring everything to light. Make sure they face consequences. But it will be public. Messy. Your name might come up as Daniel's ex." "I don't care about my name," I said. "But those families, the workers who died, they deserve justice." He smiled slightly. "That's what I hoped you'd say. But I can't pay you for lawyers or... I don't want payment." Minsa leaned forward. "I want to propose something that might sound crazy. Hear me out completely before you answer." My heart started racing. "Okay, marry me." I choked on my water. "What?" "Not a real marriage. A legal arrangement." He spoke quickly. "You need protection, resources, status. Right now, you're vulnerable, no legal standing, foreign national, alone with a baby coming. Daniel's family could make things very difficult for you if they wanted. And marriage would help how? My name carries weight in Korea. A lot of weight. If you're my wife, they can't touch you. Your baby gets citizenship. You get health insurance, legal protection, financial security. You could focus on being healthy and preparing for your daughter instead of surviving day to day. What do you get out of it?" I asked suspiciously. He was quiet for a moment. "Honestly, a chance to do something good. My sister's death destroyed me. I was becoming cold, empty. Then I saw you, and I remembered why I built this company, to protect people who can't protect themselves." He met my eyes. "You'd be helping me as much as I'd be helping you." "This is insane." "Completely insane," he agreed. "But also practical. We'd have an agreement. Separate lives. No expectations. When you're ready, after the baby, after you're stable, we divorce quietly. No strings." I thought about my tiny apartment. About working while 7 months pregnant. About delivering my baby alone in a foreign country. About Daniel's family and their power. What about feelings? I asked carefully. "What if?" "We're both adults," Minsa said. "We'll communicate. Set boundaries. Be honest." He paused. "I'm not asking you to love me. I'm offering you safety." It should have felt wrong. But somehow, it felt like the first right thing in months. "Can I think about it?" "Of course. Take all the time you need." But that night, lying in that comfortable bed, feeling my baby kick, I realized something. Minsa had already given me more consideration and respect than Daniel ever had. The next morning, I found him in his office. "I have conditions," I said. He looked up. "Name them." "No violence against Daniel or his family. Legal action only. No physical revenge." Agreed. "I keep my own space. Privacy. Independence." "Of course. And if I say stop, if I want out, you let me go." No complications. I'll have my lawyer draft that into the agreement. I took a deep breath. Okay, I'll marry you. For the first time since we'd met, Minces smiled fully. It transformed his face. Thank you, he said quietly, for trusting me. 3 days later, we stood in a small courthouse with his lawyer as our witness. The ceremony took 10 minutes. When the official pronounced us married, Minces squeezed my hand gently. Partners, he said. Partners, I agreed. I had no idea I was marrying one of the most powerful men in Seoul. The first week of marriage was surprisingly easy. Minsu was respectful, giving me space while making sure I had everything I needed. He worked long hours, but every evening, he'd check on me. How was your day? He'd ask. It was such a simple question, but no one had asked me that in months. I spent my days resting, reading baby books, and video calling my mom back in Chicago. I didn't tell her about the marriage yet. How could I explain it? But I told her I was okay, that I'd found help, that I was safe. You sound better, baby, she said, tears in her eyes. I was so worried. I'm figuring it out, Mom. Minsu's lawyer was working on my visa status, getting me proper documentation as his spouse. His company's doctor monitored my pregnancy weekly. Mrs. Kim taught me basic Korean phrases. It felt like breathing after being underwater for months. One evening, Minsa came home early with shopping bags. What's this? I asked. Baby supplies. I realized we hadn't prepared for her arrival. He'd bought everything. Crib, clothes, diapers, blankets. All in soft yellows and greens since we didn't know the gender yet, except I did. I'd found out at my last ultrasound. It's a girl, I told him. His face lit up. A girl? Yeah. I found out last week, but didn't know if I should tell you since this is all temporary and... You should always tell me important things, he interrupted gently. This is important. She's important. He looked at the bags. I'll return these and get more pink things. Minsu, yellow and green are perfect. We spent the evening assembling the crib in my room. Well, he assembled while I directed from a chair, forbidden to lift anything heavy. My sister wanted a daughter, he said suddenly, screwing in a crib leg. She'd already picked a name. Mina. That's beautiful. She would have been a good mother. His voice was tight. She was kind, funny. She loved kids. Worked at a kindergarten. The father of her baby, what happened with him? Rich family. Powerful. They offered her money to abort, and when she refused, they destroyed her reputation. Spread rumors that she'd trapped him. His mother called her. He stopped. Terrible things. She couldn't handle the shame, the isolation. I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm sorry. She called me that day. Left a voicemail. Appa, I need help. His hands stilled on the screwdriver. I was closing a business deal. I thought I'd call her back in an hour. By the time I did, she was gone. It's not your fault. I know that here. He tapped his head. But here, he touched his chest. I'll never forgive myself. We finished the crib in silence. When it was done, Minsa stood back. She'll be safe here, he said quietly. I promise you that. Whatever happens with us, your daughter will always be protected. That night, I realized this arrangement was becoming something more complicated. Not romantic, not yet, but real, connected. And that scared me more than I wanted to admit. At 32 weeks pregnant, Dr. Choi cleared me for light activity. I was getting cabin fever in the apartment, no matter how beautiful it was. Can I go out? I asked Minsu over breakfast. Just for a walk. Fresh air. He frowned. Daniel hasn't tried to contact you? No. Why would he? Minsu's expression said he knew something I didn't. Just, if you go out, take Mr. Park with you. He gestured to his driver, who was also apparently security. Please. You're scaring me. I'm being careful. He softened. The investigation into park construction is moving forward. They're getting nervous. I don't trust nervous people. So I agreed to the security escort. Mr. Park drove me to a nearby park where I could walk on flat paths. The autumn air was crisp, leaves turning gold and red. For the first time in weeks, I felt almost normal. Then I saw her. Yuna, Daniel's fiancée, walking her small dog, designer sunglasses perched on her head. Our eyes met. I should have kept walking. But she approached me, her expression unreadable. "You're the girl from the mall," she said in accented English. "I'm not looking for trouble," I said carefully. "Neither am I." She glanced around, then lowered her voice. "Can we talk?" "Just 5 minutes." Mr. Park stepped closer, but I nodded. "It's okay." We sat on a bench. Yuna's dog sniffed around our feet. "I broke off my engagement to Daniel," she said abruptly. I stared at her. "What?" 2 days after the mall incident. My father. She paused. My father is a politician. He saw the video. He said Daniel was a liability. She looked at me directly. "I'm sorry. For what I said that day. For laughing. For being cruel." I didn't know what to say. "I was jealous," she continued. "Daniel talked about you sometimes when he drank too much. About how you were different, how you challenged him. I knew I was just convenient. A good match for his family." She twisted her hands. "But that doesn't excuse what I did. You were pregnant and hurt, and I was terrible. Why are you telling me this?" "Because you should know Daniel's family is panicking. The investigation. Your marriage to Kong Min-soo. They're losing everything." She met my eyes. "And they blame you." A chill ran down my spine. Are they going to do something? I don't know. But my father pulled me away from that family for a reason. He said they were dangerous when cornered. She stood to leave, then paused. "One more thing. I was like you once. Different circumstances, but used by a powerful family. If you ever need anything, someone who understands." She handed me a business card. I mean it. After she left, Mr. Park insisted we return to the apartment immediately. When Minsa came home, I told him everything. His face darkened. "I should have warned you they might retaliate." "Retaliate how?" "I don't know yet." He pulled out his phone. "But I'm doubling security. You don't go anywhere alone. Not until this is resolved." "Minsu, I can't live in fear." "You're not living in fear. You're being smart." He knelt in front of my chair. "These people already showed you what they're capable of. They pushed you while you were pregnant. What do you think they'll do now that I'm exposing their crimes?" He was right. I knew he was right. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow seemed threatening. Around midnight, there was a soft knock on my door. "It's me," Mince's voice called. "Can I come in?" He found me sitting up in bed, hands on my belly. "Can't sleep?" he asked. Every time I close my eyes, I see Daniel's face. His mother's face. I imagine them. I couldn't finish. Without a word, Minsa pulled a chair beside my bed and sat down. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Staying." "So you're not alone." He settled in, pulling out his phone. "I have work to do anyway. You rest. I'll be right here." "You don't have to." "I want to." Something about his presence, his quiet certainty, helped me relax. My eyes grew heavy. "Minsu?" I whispered, half asleep. "Yes, thank you. For everything." "Sleep, Sarah," he said softly. "I've got you." And for the first time since the mall, I felt truly safe. The news broke 3 days later. I was eating breakfast when Minsu's phone exploded with notifications. His face went pale as he read. "What's wrong?" I asked. He turned his phone around. The headline, "Park Construction Under Investigation for Worker Deaths and Safety Violations." Below it, photos. The 3 workers who had died. Their families. Documents showing cover-ups. "It's happening," Minsa said. "My legal team released everything to the media this morning." I stared at the screen as the story unfolded. Park construction stock was crashing. News outlets were picking it up. The families of the dead workers were finally speaking out, saying they'd been paid to stay silent, threatened if they went public. By afternoon, Daniel's father was on television, trying to deny everything. But the evidence was overwhelming. We should expect retaliation, Minsa warned. They'll try to discredit the source, attack anyone involved. That might include you. Me? I didn't do anything. You're connected to me now. They'll use that. He was right. By evening, someone had leaked our marriage to a gossip blog. The post was vicious. Kong Minsu's secret marriage to foreign gold digger. Is she behind the park construction attack? They'd found my photo somehow. Called me Daniel's vengeful ex. Suggested I'd seduced Minsu to destroy Daniel's family. I read the comments until I felt sick. She probably got pregnant on purpose. Foreign women always do this to Korean men. She's using him for revenge and money. Minsa found me crying in my room. Don't read that garbage, he said, taking my phone away. They're destroying me. Making me look like Daniel and his family want you to look. He sat beside me. This is their play. Turn public opinion against you, against me, against the investigation. Make it seem personal instead of about justice. Maybe we should stop, I said. Maybe I should just leave Korea, go home. No. His voice was firm. That's exactly what they want. You running away proves their narrative. He took my hands. Sarah, those workers died because of park construction's greed. Their families deserve justice. We don't stop because things get uncomfortable. But my reputation will recover. Truth does that. He squeezed my hands. Trust me? I looked at his face, at the determination there, and nodded. Okay, we keep going. The next day, Minsu's PR team released a statement. Professional. Factual. Explaining that yes, we were married, and yes, I was Daniel's ex, but the investigation had nothing to do with personal revenge. It was about worker safety and corporate accountability. They included my story. How Daniel's family had rejected me, offered me money to disappear, abandoned me when I was pregnant. Not for sympathy, for context. If being a gold digger means wanting basic respect and support for your child, the statement read, then the term says more about society than about her. Public opinion began to shift. Slowly. People started asking why Daniel's family had treated me that way. Started wondering what else they were capable of. 3 days later, investigators showed up at Park Construction headquarters. Official government investigation, not just media attention. Daniel's father was arrested. I watched the news footage of him being led away in handcuffs. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me felt sick. This was real now. Lives were being destroyed. Having second thoughts? Minsu asked, watching my face. No, it's a lot. It is. He didn't try to minimize it. But those 3 men who died, they don't get second thoughts. Their families don't get to reconsider. This is justice, Sarah. It's messy and painful, but it's necessary. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You're going to regret this. I showed Minsu. He immediately called his security team. From now on, he said, you're not alone. Ever. Security follows you everywhere. This is insane. This is necessary. His face was hard. They're cornered animals now. Dangerous. I wanted to argue. But the text had scared me. The venom in those words. Okay, I whispered. Whatever keeps the baby safe. At 34 weeks, I woke up to cramping. Not terrible, but concerning. Minsa rushed me to the hospital, his hand gripping mine in the car. It's too early, I kept saying. She can't come yet. Dr. Choi will know what to do, he assured me, though his face was pale. False labor, the doctor determined. Stress-induced Braxton Hicks contractions. But she wasn't happy. Your blood pressure is elevated, Dr. Choi said seriously. Have you been under stress? I almost laughed. You could say that. She looked at Minsu. She needs calm. Peace. No stress whatsoever for the next 6 weeks, or we risk premature labor. Back at the apartment, Minsu made a decision. We're leaving Seoul, he announced. What? I have a house in Jeju Island. Private. Secure. Beautiful and calm. He was already making calls. We'll go for the next month. You can relax, prepare for the baby, be away from all this chaos. But your work can be done remotely. My team can handle what can't. He looked at me seriously. Your health and the baby's health are more important than business. We're going. 2 days later, we flew to Jeju. The house was stunning, traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern comfort, overlooking the ocean. The air smelled like salt and flowers. Mrs. Kim came with us, preparing special foods to keep my strength up. Minsa worked from a home office, but took breaks to walk with me on the beach. This is beautiful, I said one evening, watching the sunset over the water. Thank you. You don't have to keep thanking me. I do, though. You've changed my entire life. He was quiet for a moment. You've changed mine too. How? I was becoming someone I didn't like. Cold. Focused only on business and revenge. He looked at the ocean. You remind me there's more to life than that. That kindness matters. That some things are worth protecting. We stood in comfortable silence, waves washing over our feet. Can I ask you something personal? I said. Always. When this started, you said it was temporary. That we'd divorce after the baby, after everything settled. I paused. Do you still want that? He didn't answer right away. When he did, his voice was careful. I said that because I didn't want you to feel trapped. Because I wanted you to know you had choices. He turned to face me. But if you're asking if I still want you to leave, no. I don't. My heart raced. What are you saying? I'm saying somewhere along the way, this stopped being an arrangement for me. You're not a responsibility or a good deed. He touched my face gently. You're someone I look forward to seeing every day. Someone I want to protect not because I failed my sister, but because I care about you. You specifically. Minsu. I'm not asking you to feel the same way, he interrupted quickly. I know this started as a transaction. I'm just being honest about where I am now. If you still want to leave after the baby comes, I'll honor our agreement. But if you want to stay. He smiled slightly. I'd like that. I didn't know what to say. My feelings were complicated: gratitude, growing affection, trust. But was it love? Or was it just that he'd saved me when I was drowning? Can I think about it? I asked. Of course. He squeezed my hand. No pressure. I just wanted you to know. That night, lying in bed, I felt the baby kick hard. Like she was weighing in on the decision. What do you think, little one? I whispered to my belly. Should we stay? She kicked again. I took that as a yes. The next 3 weeks in Jeju were the calmest I'd felt in a year. No news cameras. No threatening texts. Just ocean waves, good food, and Mince's quiet presence. We fell into a routine. Mornings, I'd walk on the beach while he worked. Afternoons, we'd have lunch together. Evenings, we'd watch the sunset and talk about everything, our childhoods, our dreams, our fears. I learned he'd built his company from almost nothing. His father had died when he was young, leaving debt. Mince worked himself nearly to death, making smart investments, taking risks. By 30, he was one of the wealthiest men in Korea. But wealth doesn't protect you from pain, he said. I learned that when Mina died. All my money, all my connections, and I couldn't save my own sister. You're saving me, I pointed out. Maybe we're saving each other. One evening, at 37 weeks, I felt different. Not contractions, just different. Heavy. Emotional. I'm scared, I admitted to Minsu as we sat on the porch. About labor. About being a mom. About doing this alone. You're not alone. But you're not. I mean, we're not. I couldn't articulate it. He understood anyway. You're right. I'm not her biological father, but I'd like to be her father in every way that matters. If you'll let me. Tears streamed down my face. Damn pregnancy hormones. You want to be her dad? Really? Really? He moved closer. I know I can't replace Daniel biologically, but I can love her, raise her, protect her. I can be there for her first steps, first words, first heartbreak. If you'll trust me with that. What about when people ask? When she asks, we tell her the truth, age appropriately. That I'm not her biological father, but I'm her dad by choice. That sometimes the people who raise you are more important than the people who make you. It was perfect. Too perfect. Why are you doing this? I asked. Really? Deep down, why? He was quiet for a long time. Because the night we met, when I saw you fall, I felt something I hadn't felt since Mina died, the need to protect someone. And every day since, that feeling has grown. It's not just guilt or responsibility anymore. He paused. It's love, Sarah. I love you. I love this baby. I want to be a family, not out of obligation, but because I can't imagine my life without you both in it. My breath caught. You love me. I do. I know it's complicated. I know you might not feel the same way. But I needed you to know before she arrives, before everything changes again, that this is real for me. You're real for me. I should have been cautious. Should have questioned whether this was gratitude or genuine feeling. But sitting there, 37 weeks pregnant, with this man who had saved me in every possible way, I knew the truth. I love you too, I whispered. I think I have for a while. I was just scared to admit it. He smiled, really smiled, and leaned forward to kiss me. Soft, tentative, full of promise. We're really doing this? I asked. Being a real family? We're really doing this. That night, I felt the first real contraction. Then another. And another. Minsu, I called out. I think she's coming. His face went pale. Now? Right now? Right now. The hospital in Jeju was small but well-equipped. Dr. Park, who'd been consulting with Dr. Choi, examined me quickly. You're in active labor, she confirmed. About 4 centimeters dilated. This baby is coming tonight. Terror and excitement mixed in equal measure. Minsa held my hand through every contraction, breathing with me, whispering encouragement. You're so strong, he kept saying. You can do this. Labor was brutal. 13 hours of increasing pain, exhaustion, fear. But Minsa never left. Never complained. He was my anchor through every wave. At 3:47 a.m., Dr. Park said, one more push. You're almost there. I pushed with everything I had left. And then I heard it, the most beautiful sound in the world. My baby's cry. It's a girl, Dr. Park announced, placing a tiny, perfect human on my chest. Congratulations. I looked down at her wrinkled, crying, absolutely perfect, and felt my heart crack open in a way I didn't know was possible. Hi, baby girl, I whispered through tears. Hi, sweetheart. I'm your mama. Minsa stared at her with wonder. She's so small. Do you want to hold her? Dr. Park asked him. He looked terrified. I don't know how. I'll show you. Dr. Park placed our daughter in Minsa's arms, adjusting his hold. He looked down at her with an expression of pure awe. Hello, little one, he whispered in Korean. I'm your appa. I'm going to love you so much. The baby stopped crying, seeming to recognize his voice. She blinked up at him with dark eyes. In that moment, watching this man who'd saved me hold our daughter, because she was ours, no matter what biology said, I knew we'd made the right choice. We'd named her already. Grace. Grace Minsa Park. A name that meant mercy and strength, exactly what we'd found together. Welcome to the world, Grace, I whispered. You're so loved already. The first week with Grace was chaos and joy mixed together. She was tiny but healthy, with a strong cry and her father's, Minsu's, determination. When she wanted something, she made it known. Minsu was terrified and amazing at the same time. He changed diapers carefully, like handling explosives. He walked her around when she cried, speaking soft Korean. He called his mother in Seoul, who immediately flew to Jeju to meet her granddaughter. Mrs. Kong was elegant, warm, and surprisingly progressive. "She's beautiful," she told me, holding Grace carefully. "And you're strong. I know what my son told me about the arrangement." She looked at me seriously. "But this isn't an arrangement anymore, is it?" "No," I admitted. "It's real." She smiled. "Good. He deserves happiness. You both do." We stayed in Jeju for 3 more weeks, adjusting to being parents. Minsu was patient with my learning curve, with my exhaustion, with my postpartum emotions. When Grace was 1 month old, we returned to Seoul. The park construction scandal had resulted in arrests, trials, lawsuits. Daniel's father was facing serious prison time. Daniel himself had lost everything, his job, his reputation, his family's money. Part of me felt bad. But then I'd look at Grace, think about how they'd wanted me to disappear, and the guilt faded. We'd won. Not through revenge, but through truth. A week after we returned, my doorbell rang. Minsu answered it, then called for me. "Sarah, you have a visitor." It was Daniel. He looked terrible. Thin. Older. Defeated. "What do you want?" I asked, holding Grace protectively. "I just wanted to see." He trailed off, staring at the baby. "Is she mine? Biologically?" "Yes." I looked him in the eye. "In every other way?" "No. She's ours." I gestured to Minsu, who stood behind me, protective but not threatening. Daniel's face crumpled. "I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. I should have stood by you. Should have fought for you." "Yes," I agreed. "You should have." "Can I?" He reached toward Grace. Minsu stepped forward. "No." Daniel looked at him with something like resignation. "You'll be a better father than I could have been." "I know," Minsu said simply. "I just wanted you to know I'm sorry," Daniel told me. "For everything. I know it doesn't change anything, but I'm sorry." After he left, I felt strangely empty. No satisfaction. No vindication. Just sadness for wasted potential. "Are you okay?" Minsu asked. "Yeah, I just realized something." I looked at him. He's not the villain of my story anymore. He's just someone I used to know. Someone who made bad choices. "And who are you in your story?" I smiled. "The hero. The one who survived and thrived. The one who found real love." He kissed me softly. I like that story. Grace was 3 months old when the final verdict came down. Daniel's father received 8 years for negligent homicide and corporate fraud. His mother, who'd helped cover everything up, got 5 years. Park construction was dissolved, assets sold to pay restitution to the workers' families. The news ran stories about justice being served, about how one woman's courage had exposed systemic corruption. They interviewed me. I kept it simple. "I didn't do this for revenge," I told the reporter. "I did it because those men died and their families deserved truth." Everything else just followed. The response was overwhelming. Women reached out, foreign women with Korean partners, women who'd been abandoned or abused, women who needed help. "We should do something," I told Minsu one night while Grace slept between us. "Like what?" "Help them. Other women in situations like mine was." An idea was forming. What if we started a foundation? Resources, legal help, counseling. A place where foreign women in Korea can get support. His eyes lit up. "That's brilliant." Within 6 months, Second Chances Korea was operating. We rented a building in Itaewon, hired staff, partnered with lawyers and therapists. Women came for help, leaving abusive relationships, fighting for custody, navigating visa issues. I ran the foundation with passion. Minsu provided funding and connections. Together, we made a real difference. Grace grew fast. At 6 months, she smiled constantly. At 8 months, she said her first word, Appa. Minsa cried. At 9 months, we had our first wedding anniversary. The fake one, from the courthouse. Minsa surprised me with a small party, just family and close friends. I have something to ask you, he said nervously. Oh no. Was he going to propose? We were already married. He got down on one knee anyway. Grace, sitting in Mrs. Kim's lap, clapped excitedly. Sarah, last year I asked you to marry me out of convenience and protection. You said yes because you needed help. He pulled out a ring, not the simple gold band I wore now, but something stunning. I'm asking again. Marry me because you love me. Because you want to be my wife, not my arrangement. Because you want to build a life together, for real. Tears streamed down my face. Yes. God, yes. He slipped the ring on, then kissed me while everyone applauded. We should have a real wedding, his mother suggested. Traditional ceremony. Let everyone know this is forever. Would you want that? Minsu asked me. I looked at our daughter, at this family we'd built from broken pieces. I'd love that. Planning a traditional Korean wedding while running a foundation and caring for an infant was chaos. But Mrs. Kong helped, teaching me traditions and meanings. The ceremony isn't just about you and Minsu, she explained. It's about joining families. About honoring the past and promising the future. My mother flew in from Chicago. She cried when she met Minsu. You saved my baby, she told him. We saved each other, he corrected gently. The wedding was beautiful. I wore a traditional hanbok, silk in shades of pink and gold. Grace wore a tiny matching version. Minsa wore formal Korean dress, looking more handsome than should be legal. During the ceremony, we bowed to each other, to our families, to the future. Words were spoken in Korean that I mostly understood after a year of lessons. Promises made that I intended to keep forever. At the reception, we mixed traditions. Korean food and soul food. K-pop and R&B. 2 cultures, 2 families, 1 love. Daniel sent a letter. Not to me, to Minsu. Thank you for being the man I couldn't be. Please take care of them. Tell Sarah I'm sorry and I wish her every happiness. I didn't know how to feel about that. But Minsa summed it up perfectly. He lost his chance to be part of something beautiful. That's his burden to carry, not yours. During our first dance, Grace fell asleep on Mrs. Kim's shoulder. I looked around at everyone who'd come to celebrate us, friends, family, women from the foundation. Happy? Minsa whispered. Beyond happy. Grateful. Blessed. Me too. When Grace turned 1, we threw a massive party. In Korean tradition, the Dole celebration is significant, the baby's first birthday marking survival and future. We put Grace in front of items, a book, money, a microphone, thread. Whatever she picked would supposedly predict her future. She grabbed the book immediately. Scholar. Mrs. Kong announced proudly. But then Grace grabbed the money too. And the microphone. Overachiever, I laughed. Just like her appa. Life settled into a beautiful routine. Minsu's business continued thriving. My foundation helped dozens of women monthly. Grace was walking now, babbling in Korean and English, the smartest, most loved little girl in Seoul. But one day, I got a call from the foundation. Sarah, you need to come in. There's someone here asking for you specifically. I arrived to find a young woman, maybe 20, crying in the waiting room. I saw your interview, she said. About Daniel. About what happened to you. She looked up with desperate eyes. It's happening to me. Same family. Different son. My blood ran cold. What? Daniel has a younger brother. We've been dating 2 years. I just found out I'm pregnant. She sobbed. His parents found out. They're offering me money to disappear. They called me a. She couldn't finish. The same slurs they'd called me. I sat down heavily. This family hadn't learned. They were still destroying lives. What's your name? I asked gently. Jennifer. I'm from Canada. I came here to teach English, and I met Jason, and I thought. She broke down completely. I held her while she cried, seeing myself 2 years ago. You're going to be okay, I promised. We're going to help you. You're not alone. That night, I told Minsu. The Park family is at it again? His face darkened. Daniel's brother? Jason. Same pattern. Foreign girlfriend, pregnancy, rejection. What do you want to do? I thought about it. About how far we'd come. About the power we now had. I want to help her. And I want to make sure this family never does this again. Minsu smiled grimly. Let's make a plan. Jennifer stayed with us while we built her case. She was 8 weeks pregnant, terrified, broke. Just like I'd been. Minsu's lawyers got to work. This time, they found even more dirt on the Park family. Jason's father might be in prison, but his mother, recently released on parole, was back to her old tricks. Bribing officials, threatening girls, protecting her son's reputation. She violated parole, the lawyer told us. Multiple times. This is enough to send her back. Jennifer wanted to keep her baby. Wanted to fight. But she was scared. They're so powerful, she whispered one night while we had tea. How did you do it? I had help. I gestured to Minsu, who was giving Grace her bottle. And I got angry enough to stop being scared. You have the same help now. We won't let them hurt you. We filed a lawsuit. Harassment. Coercion. Violation of parole. The media picked it up immediately. Park family at it again. Second foreign woman targeted. Public opinion was vicious toward the family this time. Once was a scandal. Twice was a pattern. Jason tried to contact Jennifer, promising to fix things. She recorded the call where he offered her money to abort and leave Korea. I'm so disappointed in you, he said on the recording. You seem smarter than this. Getting pregnant on purpose to trap me. We released the recording publicly. Jason's employer fired him. His mother's parole was revoked. And Jennifer? She was safe, living in a foundation apartment, receiving prenatal care. How do I repay you? She asked me. Pay it forward. When you're on your feet, help the next woman. That's how we change things. 3 months later, Daniel reached out. He wanted to meet. Minsu was against it. He doesn't deserve your time. Maybe not. But I'm curious what he wants to say. We met at a coffee shop, neutral ground. Daniel looked better than last time, sober, clear-eyed, but still carrying guilt. I heard about Jason and Jennifer, he said. I'm ashamed. My family hasn't learned anything. No, they haven't. I want to help her. Testify if needed. Provide evidence of how our family operates. He looked at me seriously. I can't undo what I did to you, but maybe I can help prevent it happening to someone else. I studied him, searching for manipulation, but I only saw regret. Why now? I asked. Because I've been in therapy, facing what I did, and I realized I became what my family made me, cruel, entitled, careless with people's hearts. He paused. I don't want to be that person anymore. What about Grace? I asked carefully. Do you want to be in her life? He was quiet for a long moment. No, I gave up that right. She has a father, a good one. Me showing up now would just confuse her and hurt you. He smiled sadly. Maybe when she's older, if she has questions. But Minsu is her dad. I won't interfere with that. Something in me relaxed. Thank you for understanding that. Thank you for surviving despite what I did. For building something beautiful from the worst moment of your life. He stood to leave. I'll talk to your lawyers. Whatever helps Jennifer and stops my family from hurting anyone else. After he left, I felt peaceful. Not forgiveness exactly, but closure.